But something that came out today, okay, is Tyler Robinson used Donald Trump as his gaming alias on Steam. The Secret Service is looking at his gaming history. They're going through his Steam accounts, and what did they discover today or in the last couple days? That Tyler Robinson had been using Trump's name, Donald Trump, on Valve's Steam platform. And so now, look at this. I want to be very clear here, guys, and let you know that, again, Tyler Robinson is like a black pill nihilist, okay? So he's going to be using like Trump on some shit. He's going to be doing Groyper memes. He's going to be doing like talking about the fascism. This kid is going to be all over the map because he's essentially trolling everyone. But the point being is this kid was not a fucking leftist, okay? This kid is not a leftist. He's not out there fighting for healthcare. He's not out there fighting for education. He's not out there demanding equity. He was a MAGA-raised, religious, gun-toting, like austere Republican growing up kid in Utah who got blackpilled because he couldn't be himself in his own family. He got filled with rage at some points and just kind of was against everybody. But his foundation was MAGA, and he was using Donald Trump's name in Steam. He did not hate Donald Trump, right? But he certainly wasn't a fucking leftist. And they've been portraying him as a leftist because the mayor of Utah said he's a leftist, but nobody's shown any evidence. But I kind of found him to be like in a black hole of, you know, sort of apathetic, disaffected, very nihilistic, but in a quietly brooding, nihilistic sort of way. Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. Thus, Tyler Robinson messaged his friends on Discord, seemingly apologizing for murdering Charlie Kirk. I'm sorry for all of this. But I mean, even that message, hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU. I'm sorry for all of this. Right? Like, just like super disconnected. Like even in the messages to his lover, where he's like, oh, I'm sorry, my love. I didn't feel any emotion in that whole thing. Like in, you know, when you read all the shit this person does, it's like there's not really any emotion. It's more like an awareness. Yeah, there's like a disassociation and a disconnection to him, where I think there's like an empathy and a sort of like humanist element of us that allows us to bond with other humans. And some people don't have that. I obtained this and other Discord chats I've decided to publish, along with new information I learned about Robinson from the people who knew him best. And here's one of them. Charlie Kirk got shot dead. I just saw the video. Holy shit, rip. I guess bro didn't deserve to go out like that. That was somebody in the chat. And then he chimed in, hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for everything, right? Dude, what kind of message is that? Right? You know what I mean? I mean, dude, it's pretty disconnected. Right? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, that was me. I fucking shot Charlie Kirk. Thanks for all the laughs. You know, I'm going to go turn myself in now. And that, right, like this message is like, dude, like he's moving to fucking Pocatello, Idaho or something. Like, yeah, it was really great knowing you guys. Appreciate it. You know, peace. Good luck to you. You know, thanks for everything. It's like really wild. And you know, Trump and company portray the alleged Utah shooter as a left wing and liberals portray him as right wing. The federal conclusion will inevitably be that he was a so-called nihilist violent extremist, NVE. Meanwhile, the crackdown has already begun. As I reported yesterday, the country is practically ready to go to war. It's been so terrible, and seeing it from the inside perspective is so frustrating, a friend of Robinson since middle school told me. The childhood friend who asked not to be named for fear of threats provided me with the above non-public photo of Robinson on a camping trip, a favorite activity of his to corroborate their relationship. So there he is, right? Again, dude, he's wearing the same shit, the shades, the hat. I mean, a lot of this just feels like hiding, like he was just hidden and disconnected, trying to fit and connect and like, but not being able to do it. I think the main thing that's caused so much confusion is that he was generally apolitical for the most part, the friend told me. That's the big thing. He just never really talked politics, which is why it's so frustrating, right? And to be honest with you guys, I believe that. I believe that he was like probably the people around him, nobody really knew what he believed because maybe, I don't know. I don't think anybody really knew this guy, you know? The picture that emerges bears little resemblance to the media version. Robinson, I am told, though quiet, was a well-liked person with a supportive family. The friend group who he interacted with on Discord, far from some kind of militia camp or Antifa bunker it's been portrayed as, represented a range of different political views, but mostly talked video games. Yesterday, FBI Director 𝗙ście𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀 said in an interview Robinson subscribed to left-wing ideology. He definitely does not subscribe to left-wing ideology, citing his family's remarks to investigators, but those close to Robinson say there was a lot his family didn't know about him. You ready? See, look at this, guys. There's a lot his family didn't know about him. And I think that's probably true as well. Like, he didn't fit in with his family. I mean, if you look at his mom, she has all these pictures, but did you notice that in most of the pictures, when it showed him, he's just like sitting alone in a booth at a restaurant, or he's standing alone in his room? Like, his family photos are like kind of weird. There's like a picture like this where he's getting ready to move and he's just sort of standing there like, hey, in the middle of his room, 10 feet away from the camera, and he's smiling. He's like, I'm happy, Mom. Don't worry about me. I'm happy. But like, you know, I don't know. I don't know that anybody knew him, you know? Or here he is. He's like sitting with his dad. There's his dad and shit, and he's like at the restaurant. Sort of, this looks like the same fucking picture as that last picture. And he's, you know, he's got the glasses on and the hat. Like, I don't know. He's kind of probably trying to be like his dad, trying to fit into this family where he just doesn't feel connected, you know? And you know, I heard he was pretty smart too, right? I mean, there's another photo of him, right? Same thing, the hat and the glasses and a plain t-shirt. He's like a, you know, he's just kind of like wearing a uniform, right? There's all these photos of him, like his mom's always taking pictures of him in restaurants. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is a really telling sort of thing. There's not like photos of them with him doing his favorite activity. He's always sitting in a restaurant being photographed by his mom for her like Facebook page or whatever. I don't know, man. I feel like that sort of tells you a little bit about him, that he was this type of person that his mom was always trying to like record his inclusion in the family, and he's, you know, oh, we're happy. But like every photo of this kid is him sitting in a fucking restaurant being photographed by his mom. Dude, I'm getting the goosebumps right now because I'm thinking about the type of like lonely, disconnected relationship you have where like that is your role. That's how you're included in the family is every time you go out to eat, your mom's snapping a photograph of you so she can put you on her Facebook page. There's something about this that is so fucking lonely, bro. Like, dude, there's something about it that's just really lonely and disaffected, you know? And I feel that obviously if he has some bisexual nature going on, he definitely was super disconnected, and there's no way he could be bisexual around his family, which is really hard. But now there's one thing that I do want to point out, though, guys, that I think we need to talk about. And I think we need to talk about this, guys. Okay? We need to talk about this. Okay? Because this kid was radicalized into gun culture by his parents. He had a mom who was way into guns, and they have their kids out there like getting into the assault rifles. They were definitely taking them shooting and shit like that. I think that's irresponsible. I don't think kids should be taken to around assault rifles when they're fucking 8 years old. Okay? I think if they didn't train this kid to be a shooter, Charlie Kirk is still alive. I think it's irresponsible for parents to treat their kids like this. Okay? I don't think kids should be exposed to this shit. But let me just tell you guys, when I look at this guy's photos, I mean, I get it. He's a killer, and that sucks. It sucks when people turn into killers, right? If he had been in the military, he'd probably be revered if he was a sniper. If he had become, right? If he was some sniper over in Afghanistan, he'd be getting worshipped. Okay? But instead, he's acted out here, and now everybody hates him. Why did he do this? We don't know. I don't think he knows. I mean, I think he was disaffected. You know, I mean, I'm sure if he was bisexual and in a MAGA family in Utah, there was no room for that. So he may have stoked a sense of rage, and Charlie Kirk's negativity towards the LGBTQ community may have felt like a personal threat. And maybe Charlie Kirk just became this symbolic, like, symbol of like all of their rage. Like, for example, can we talk about religion here for a minute? Because you know how religious people, they're like, their whole life is Jesus. Everything is Jesus. Praise Lord, praise God, praise Jesus. Oh, Jesus. We see these evangelicals all the time. They are fixated on Jesus. Okay. They just like, Jesus is the thing they turn to. You see the baseball players, they hit a home run and they're like, Jesus, everything is Jesus. So people have a tendency to put everything they have into one identity, one deity they worship, one job they are a part of, one part of themselves. I am an actor. I am a streamer. I am a contractor. I am a soldier, right? We wrap our identities into like these singular things that we can then devote ourselves to, right? Devotion. And then I think some people, like maybe Tyler Robinson here, who don't quite fit in, they can't quite connect, they can't quite, like they see everybody else forming these connections, but they can't do it. And so they feel disaffected and alone and disconnected and like different, and like there's something wrong with them. There's something about them that like nobody else seems to understand this. And then they start nursing a rage, and they nurse a resentment, and they nurse an animosity that isn't even necessarily having anything to do with it, but it's something that triggers them in a way that like that becomes a symbol of their rage, right? Like, you know, and I mean, religious people on crusades, right? You'll see them, like a transgender person is the symbol of Nancy Mace's rage, okay? Anytime she gets in a rage, it is like a transgender thing, okay? The transgender, like a trans woman, is a symbol of all of Nancy Mace's rage. She wasn't raped by a trans person. She doesn't know any trans people, but the trans woman has become the symbol of her rage. And I think that this guy was like disconnected, disaffected, kind of a nihilist. He didn't fit in with any group. And somewhere in there, he had sort of a smoldering, burn it all down philosophy. And then he sees Charlie Kirk out there, like going to these colleges and being this rock star of like this negativity and this, you know, all this shit. And maybe somehow Charlie Kirk just became this symbol to him that, you know, where all of the fucking emptiness he felt got embodied in that guy's smugness. And then he just decided one day he had fucking had enough and he was going to, like, you know, take action. You know what I mean? And if he really loved a person who was LGBTQ, or he was LGBTQ, or he loved a person who thought they were trans, and maybe he was worried about them going to jail, being in trouble, all the anti-trans bills, like, who knows? But I think, though, we're never going to know, because I don't think he knows. I don't think these people, like, the difference between a killer and a not killer, I don't think they know. Because I think a lot of people entertain doing really bad things. A lot of people even fantasize about doing really bad things. But if you look at people who do outrageous crimes like that, like premeditated killings, if you go and look at premeditated people where they talk about their crimes, they don't really know, guys. They're not terribly self-aware, which is how they get into this situation in the first place. You know, I think just somewhere along there, he got on a mission to end, you know, to snuff out the object of his disaffected rage. And I don't think he even did it because he was mad. I don't think he was like raging when he did it. I think he was pretty calm and fucking methodical about it. That's what I think. I think that. But man, I see a loneliness here. For the record, I think it sucks that Charlie Kirk's life ended, right? I do. I think it sucks when people are gunned down and they fucking experience tragedy, right? But Charlie Kirk, though, he hurt a lot of fucking people, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad that guy from United Healthcare got gunned down, but he hurt a lot of fucking people, bro. He did. Of Brian Thompson from United Healthcare. So do I feel bad that he got gunned down? Yeah. But do I look at all the people he hurt and been like, man, maybe that was just the universe equaling that shit out? Yeah. You know, I don't know how many people this kid hurt, but I don't think this kid hurt as many people as Charlie Kirk. I'd venture to guess that Charlie Kirk is one of very few people that this kid had hurt, right? Charlie Kirk hurt hundreds of thousands of people, and uncaringly too, because Charlie Kirk was on a mission from God. He didn't care who he hurt. He thought he had full license to hurt them, you know? So it's different. It's not that I feel worse for this kid than Charlie Kirk. I don't think this kid has the same baggage, okay? This kid, you know, killed one person that we know of, which is Charlie Kirk. And is it tragic and horrible? Yes. But like Charlie Kirk has probably killed 1,000 people worldwide. Easy. 1,000. And that's a conservative estimate with the animosity and the rage that he has stoked and how that is fanned out across the world. I have no doubt. I mean, dude, you look at he cheered the shuttering of USAID. There's like 100, 200, 300,000 people worldwide that are going to die just from shuttering USAID. So every single person that cheers USAID being shuttered is killing 100,000 people. So, like, I mean, take some responsibility. These right-wingers, all they do is they focus on somebody who kills 1 or 5, but they participate in a worldview that does nothing but fucking kill people, right? Look at Gaza. My God, giving money to Israel, giving bombs to Israel, Iran, Iraq. How many weapons have we sold in America that have murdered tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of people? And then you look at somebody like this who guns down Charlie Kirk and you think this guy is worse than the rest of us? Like, my God, our tax dollars have killed like 100,000 Palestinians, 50,000 Palestinian kids. And so I don't judge this kid to be any worse than the fucking rest of us. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I think it's horrific, and I don't condone going out there and killing, but my God, we all have blood on our hands. And so acting like this guy is some special level of evil, when if he had joined the Marines and gone and killed some random person he didn't know because his commanding officer told him to, MAGA would be cheering this fucker on, while some father in Iraq would be going home in a body bag and his kids would be crying. But you guys don't think about that shit, right? You hear Charlie Kirk dying and you're like, oh, we're so sad about Charlie Kirk, but think about all the goddamn fucking kids in Palestine that have no parent because of us, because of Israel, because of Netanyahu, because of our bullshit. Think about all the people that fucking our soldiers go and fucking pull the trigger on somebody, a stranger, that because they're being told to. It's like, fuck that, man. We need a reassessment of our relationship with goddamn violence as a fucking culture, as a society, okay? The way we judge these people who commit horrific crimes when, you know what I mean? Okay, he put a sniper rifle on a roof and he shot Charlie Kirk, and he's this horrific criminal. But if his commanding officer told him to do this in Iran, he would be a fucking hero. And I don't see the difference between those two. I think they're both killing, and they're both leaving people with fucking, with horrific fucking wounds. I think the problem is we decide who deserves to be killed or not. And I think that's pretty fucking arrogant of us. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.